Clouds drift behind that burning light, but you were told it's millions miles high. Rays break out like a spotlight beam through gaps in clouds. What does that mean? You see the pattern, then look away. Just coincidence, that's what you say. You trust the story more than your sight. Ignore the day, defend the night. The evidence is overhead, but something's blocking what's in your head. Do you have eyes to see or just eyes to look? Read in the sky like a closed up book. It's like they're shining every day, but you explain it all away. Do you have eyes to see or are you just passing through? Watching it happen but it don't reach you. The heavens speak but you won't agree. Do you have eyes to see? Sun dips down into ocean lines or melts right into the land it finds, but you say curve with perfect faith while watching it fade in a straight line way. Green flash hits for just a beat, like a signal glitch at the edge of the screen. Local light paints the clouds in gold, but the distant story's what you're told. Transparent edges in eclipse, light shines through what should eclipse. You see it happen, still insist that's normal, you don't question it. Do you have eyes to see or just eyes to look? Read in the sky like a closed up book. It's like they're shining every day, but you explain it all away. Do you have eyes to see or are you just passing through? Watching it happen but it don't reach you. The heavens speak but you won't agree. Do you have eyes to see? Crepuscular rays, all pointing back to one place. Perspective lines, not parallel in your face. Clouds behind light, shadows that don't align. You're watching truth, then calling it a lie. NPC mode, auto response, repeat the script, no second thoughts. But something deep is breaking through. A quiet voice is calling you. Do you have eyes to see or are they closed by design? Watching the world but denying the signs. It's not hidden, it's on display, but you were trained to look away. Do you have eyes to see or will you just play along? Ignoring the right while defending the wrong. The heavens declare for all to see, but only some will finally say, yeah. We'll finally see. It was never far, it was never hidden. You were always looking, but you never saw. To see.
Well, dreams, they feel real while we're in them, right? It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange. Let me ask you a question. You never really remember the beginning of a dream, do you? You always wind up right in the middle of what's going on.
I guess, yeah.
So how did we end up here?
Well, we just came from the,
Think about it, Ariadne. How did you get here? Where are you right now?
we're dreaming.
You're actually in the middle of the workshop right now, sleeping. This is your first lesson in shared dreaming. Stay calm.
Welcome to a virtual reality Friday. How are you doing this evening, brother?
I'm great. I'm glad to be here. It's going to be an exciting podcast.
It sure is, because we are going to serve up the visual candy like we have not in a long time. Tonight is just going to be tons and tons and tons of footage, and we're going to go through it, and we're going to show everybody what our eyes see, and it's going to be up to you to determine what your eyes see. And we understand that there is going to be a difference of opinion here, but there's only two options going forward tonight. And we're going to be determining which layer is in front of which layer. And we're going to show all the reasons why we say the layers are in front of the layers that we say. And then it's up to you. And you can look at the footage. But the big thing is you can actually go outdoors and check these things for yourself. And it's really important, because what you conclude from this information determines what you think reality is. So it is a big topic, but it's going to be a fun visual candy one tonight, right?
Well, yeah, listen, let's just get right down to it. Okay, we're living inside of a creation. Right? We're here, we're alive, and we were created to observe and think. It's the first thing that we do when we wake up in this reality. Our mind starts to observe and it starts to investigate. And at the, just core foundation of what we are as beings is investigations. That's what we do. And I think that everything was created in such a way where it was given to us, and our eyes and our mind and our ability to be curious and to investigate things. And for me, it's been a decade since I noticed that there was clouds behind the sun and the moon. It was a shocking video. It was a woman's video. She was just filming and she was zooming in and out on the moon, and she was like, "What is this? Look at this. There's literally clouds, in front of and behind the moon." And from that moment on, I was like, wow, it was a next topic outside of, Earth being flat and stationary. This was like, okay, let's actually look at the nature of reality. What are these luminaries in the sky, and what are they doing? And the best part, like you said, Jason, is that you don't need any device. You just have to go out and look. Look at the sunrise, look at the sunset, look at the eclipses, look at the different things that we get to see and observe here, and investigate them.
Yeah, it's nice that Zorse is in the chat here, because we're going to be going through a whole bunch of images that are in his Telegram group. And we're going to be sharing those. And these are just common sense observations, like nothing complicated about the pictures. But yet when you sit there and look at it and break it down, it doesn't work out the way the heliocentrists say it should work out. And so we do have the models that actually show the paths of the luminaries around the observer, and we can calculate distances, and everything happens within our circle of sight, everybody. So whatever the farthest distance you can see, that's it, right? If you can only see 100 miles max, you can't see something 200 miles away. And they say that the sun, moon, and stars are, hundreds of thousands of miles for the moon, and then millions of miles for all the other things. So our eyesight, we can't see that far. We can only see, generally on the scale of about 20 miles. And we've got the evidence to show everybody just how close the sun is rising to the observer based on the shadows, based on which way the sun rays are being cast. You can actually triangulate and pinpoint a location for the sun.
Yeah, well, we can look and observe and calculate and do all these different things, like observe, with our eyes, what is going on, the way that rainbows work, the way that all these different things like eclipses, and we can observe the moon. So the moon is sort of going to be the center focus of tonight's podcast, talking about, is it, see-through? Is it transparent? Is it translucent? Is it there? Like, what's going on? Why don't we see the face of the moon when it's traveling in front of the sun? Like, there's so many different observations that just catch my curiosity.
Absolutely. Well, we've got so much awesome footage to go through. What do you say we just sort of get into it right away?
Yeah.
And
So what we're going to be jumping into first is a video that Jason's come across here. It's a partial solar eclipse. And when I first saw this, it just absolutely blew my mind out of the water. I was just like, holy look. I was like, look at that screen. Look at what we're looking at here. And it was amazing to see. It hasn't shared yet for some reason on your end, Jason.
Well, here's the thing. I've transitioned, but I'm not getting the screen share, so I'm going to have to add a screen share here.
Yeah, you could do that. So again, when I saw this, I was like, just, childlike, taken back to my curiosity stage when before I thought, everything, right? When you actually see this footage, it just catches you by surprise when you actually just step outside of everything that you've been taught, everything that you've been told, and actually start to understand, just look. Don't try to come up with your pre-programmed thinking. Actually come up with what you actually see here. Do you need to go to a studio mode and bring that down and small size the picture? You've got it all blown out. I don't know what happened to you here. Malfunction. It's on the screen.
It is.
It's at the very top. You'll find it at the very top there.
It's not
There it is.
behind.
Jason knew.
Oh,
there it is.
I moved the wrong one.
That's okay. You can make it small. It's always hard to do this stuff on the fly. People have no idea how much effort and how you have to be a, broadcast. Most people go to university or college for this. Jason was spared from that because you were in the J-dubs. They don't believe in that. They say it's worldly. But yeah, here we got the footage coming up. It's quite impressive, I have to say. Everybody, I want to get some comments from anybody in the chat. I need you to chime in and tell me what you guys see when we run this footage here. We're going to need to get it zoomed in on too.
Yeah, we got all the tools. All this was lined up, but
that happens.
All right, we'll have to fine tune it as we go. So this is what caught my attention. I saw this in the Telegram chat, and so check this out. And we've got this partial solar eclipse where this bite out of the sun, right, is moving across the face of these clouds over here. We saw it come up from behind this bank of clouds, and it's over this bank of clouds. Now, like I said, we've got lots of tools ready to go, and so here's a video of it that we can go full size, and we can move it around and really focus on things. So let me hit play on this. This is that bite. Now you can start to see, like, as this comes across here, there's a warping of that tip, and you can see these ripples rolling around here, and then you see it come together at the bottom, and there'll be another one of these rolls that come along. And so this is the video that really caught my attention as far as how we can use partial or annular eclipses, just when it's not totality, right? When it's not fully blocked out and there's a bite out of it. What is it that we can see? And there's all these examples of footage where there's literally clouds in front of and behind this. Now, do you want to start talking about the issues regarding this bite?
Yeah. I mean, just look at it. What do you see? Everybody in the chat, when the footage rolls here, what do you see going on? What do your eyes tell you that you see? So there was a great lift off there, the same way you get a rise of the sun over water. See another wave right there through the sun. But specifically looking at the missing section of the sun.
Where's the moon, right?
Where is the moon? Why is it that we can see through the sun? If nobody told me that was the moon, crossing in front of the sun and I just looked at that, I would say something is erasing the sun, because the clouds that are behind the sun, I can now fully see them.
Yeah, and there's a warp to this shape here. If you watch the edge here as I scroll this backwards, and forwards, if you notice this point over here as it comes into this cloud layer, there's a funky distortion warp with this cloud right here. Then it comes together, bottom right here. And so that's a pretty good look at it this way. Let's go ahead and take a look at it where we can put some filters on this. So now we're in motion, same exact footage. Should be starting to get used to seeing that right there. Let's put a couple filters on here. So this first one is the color emboss. And that color emboss, what it does is it highlights things based on layers. And you can start to see depth of field in a picture based on the contrast. And the contrast has to do with these edges. So there's another filter that you can apply that highlights the edges. And now as we bring this sun up, it's behind the clouds and in front of the clouds, you can see how the sun itself is solid, where there's nothing in front of the sun right here. It's behind this cloud layer right here. You can see that depth of field right there. And then you can also see that it's in front of this layer that it's coming up above. So there's that same warping motion.
It's interacting a little bit with the clouds behind it a little bit. So there, it's slicing through the layers.
Mm-hmm. But it clearly stays on top of this layer. All right, so the sun is transparent in this area right here, and the moon is transparent in this area right here. And we just have this portion of the sun that's going over this bank of clouds back here. And brightness is really being proven to not be the issue right now, right? Because we have this area that you can clearly see behind here. And, well, we'll just keep showing it over and over and over. So once you get a feel for what is in front of what here, let's go back to some of the other examples that we have to go through tonight. So another Instagram, here is a partial eclipse. And what do you see here, Ron?
The same effect, right? It's just happening on the bottom side of the sun.
Yeah. This portion of the sun is clearly over top of this layer here. And then we have this transparent bite out of the sun right here. So maybe we should start on the early side, showing people how this actually looks in 3D models. So let's bring up Stellarium quick. And so this is the solar eclipse that took place in Antarctica, December 4th, 2021, the one that was seen from Union Glacier. And it's just sort of nice to look at it near the South Pole. I found out today in my research that there are no solar eclipses at either of the poles, like at 90 degrees north or south. But so here's a solar eclipse that's going to be taking place near the South Pole, and I want everybody to see how this. We're going to lock on. I want to find there's the moon. I'm going to watch the moon get closer and closer to the sun here. So I'll start playing this. So we're December 1st, and we can see our moon traveling towards the sun. And this whole time, they're both above the horizon. We're just sitting here doing circles, watching them go around us, never going below the horizon here. And the moon is waning. It's just becoming a smaller and smaller little crescent. And slow it down a little bit here. Zoom it in. So there's that sliver that's disappeared now. Like you can't see this moon, and look at how it's going across these things. It's blacking out what's behind it. You can't see it. Now, have you ever seen a part of the sky ever blacked out by close to new moon, brother?
No. It's a tough one. So we would need to have an occultation of either Venus or Mars, and it would have to line up perfectly on a new moon with the new moon setting, or the last moon, rising. And we'd have to see. But as far as I've ever researched and investigated and seen footage of, you've never been able to see even the slightest bit of the star behind the moon. In front of.
Here we're getting close to our eclipse. Oops. And back out. And so this is basically right here what all of our imagery tonight we're trying to showcase is that you get a situation where there's no moon, and you have a situation where it's overlapping the sun, and you get a transparent section of both. All right. The sun is in our circle of sight. The moon is in our circle of sight. It has its phases where it waxes and wanes and goes to full, but so you don't see stars through the section of the moon that's not illuminated. It has a disk to it, and that disk, when it's not lit up, covers up the sun. That can be in the sky above us, where there's literally clouds in front of and behind them. Now, all these things come together as part of understanding that you're in a virtual reality, because that would not be possible in heliocentrism. They say that these things are millions of miles away. So virtual reality, these are luminaries that are sky features rotating around the observer in your circle of sight. If I zoom back here, you'll see that every single one of us have a circle of sight, and we all see what looks like a half sphere of stars rotating around us. Right? This is on a fixed and stationary plane. So that's how this works in a virtual reality, as far as the positioning of the luminaries and which ones are visible and not visible. So let's keep looking at these images, and let's go ahead and take turns, brother, where each one of us just takes one of these images and calls out all the things that you see within it that are either flat earth or virtual reality proofs. I can start. And so here we have that same cutout, and you can see we have these scattered clouds where the sun overlays that section, and then through the bite you can see some, but that's not the end of the evidence I see in this image. What I see also is the local illumination where just this area around here is brightly illuminated by the sun, and then farther and farther away, none of these things are. So if this is 93 million miles away and it's shining and hitting all of Earth, absolutely everything in my circle of sight should be fully illuminated the same, not concentrated like it is here. And then we also have a flat horizon, and then we have reflection along the water that's unbroken. So it requires a flat plane to be able to mirror images. And we'll see other better examples of mirroring images. But is there anything else that you see in this image that you would call attention to?
Well, the reflection on the water is one of the largest virtual reality proofs. And what that tells you is that if the moon was really that far, if the sun was really that far away, that the clouds right there would actually be blocking the scattered reflection upon the water. But in fact, it's the sunlight interacting with us at a fixed distance. And those clouds are actually behind, directly below, and it's not impeding or blocking or allowing anything other than the light of the sun to then reflect off the water to us.
Yeah. So here's an image for you. What do you see here that you would like to point out?
Well, obviously it's an eclipse, a nice solar eclipse forming a ring, right? It's almost full. It's either leaving or going into full. The bite is awfully weird on the right side.
Yeah.
The fact that there's like a double missing section, that you don't see that. So it's clearly in front of and behind and slicing up through a layer of clouds at the same time. And the other thing that's very, very odd about this picture is that the horizon and the ocean, it's not illuminated at all. There's no light. The sun's clearly above the horizon here in this shot.
Yep, here's the horizon in the image. It's a dark image, but yeah, so you got a little bit of cloud over it right here, then unobstructed, then you can see it. You can see it like it's like a needle that's been threaded through fabric, and this is like the part that comes out over the top, comes down and around. And if you look here, you got shadows up this direction. Right? If this is it's 93 million miles away, how are you casting the shadows backwards off of some of these clouds here? And yeah, I mean, that's what a beauty that shot is. Want me to go? This one's
Yeah.
doesn't show,
right?
MasterCard, exactly. It doesn't show a whole lot except for part of the sun being in front of this hazy cloud background and part of the sun not being in front. So multiple layers here. You got background, you got sun, you got a little bit of cloud haze in front. And once again, it's just a cutout that's transparent, totally transparent to see through to the background here. Anything you would add to that one?
No, you nailed it.
What about this one? What would you say here?
It's another solar eclipse. Supposedly, yeah, I guess it's the moon. We can track the position of the moon, but again, it's translucent again, and you can see it sort of interacting with the clouds. There's clouds in front of and behind, and actually slicing through it. It's another example of how the moon is both blocking out the sun, but also allowing both to become transparent, to see clouds in our local circle of sight behind it.
Yeah. Super wild. Now this one, I think it's amazing because it's so crystal clear. Just looking at where the shadows are, what is illuminated. Obviously, you can see that this group right here is, just in front of. Then you got the clouds that are going to be behind it back here. Now this one, I wish it was a video. I wish I could put this one in motion. Look at how crystal clear that is. Anything you would add to that one?
Again, it's showing a transparent sun and moon with clouds interacting with it, and the locality of the way that the lights are reflecting off the clouds is impressive.
Yeah, and how does this not light up the entire sky if it's what they say it is?
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, so this was actually the video that I used in the thumbnail for the song. So we're familiar with this video here. It's pretty impressive. We'll get to see it a few more times with some other songs that we have coming. And so this shot here, we've got a couple images that we're going to be going through where we're above the clouds. And I think these are taken at a mountain in Hawaii. And so,
Observation point.
yeah, to be above the clouds and looking down, seeing an eclipse like this, where you've got some of the clouds in front, but you can see it's just wrapped up in that layer, and it's just locally illuminating this spot down here. Here's a situation where you're looking down on it, which is just incredible.
Ring of fire moment caught.
Yeah, so this is a decent video on a news station. If anybody's thinking that this isn't real footage, I hate to break it to y'all, but it is. Oh, I mean, look at how just locally illuminated this is.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I think that one really sort of helps a person see that the illumination's just literally like right here. This is going up into the clouds. That's in a person's circle of sight. What
It's Toronto.
yeah, what do you want to say about Toronto here?
Yeah, that's a great shot of the solar eclipse that took place here, and it looks like a new moon though, which is really interesting. The sun is actually looking like a new moon. It's quite incredible.
Yeah, so you get the part that's in front of right here, and then this over the behind the background.
Another one like that. Incredible. This one's a little wispy behind some cloud layers, but again, quite an amazing thing to see. You'd expect to see the face of the moon.
Yeah, you see this just poking out and illuminating just this section right here, right?
You'd expect if we lived in a heliocentric physical reality that when the moon finally crossed over the sun, for that moment, then you should be able to discern the face of the moon. You should be able to see what it looks like. It's just blocking out the brightness of the sun, but it's still it's just like it's like an eraser.
Yeah, it's so cool. This one, it's cradled.
It's diving into the clouds.
Yeah. Well, that's the maximum size I can make it. Unfortunately, not all these are the highest resolution. That's why we got to get the word out there for everybody to be out there filming, because, a lot of people, you've got a zoom on your camera and on your phone now that is going to be able to get you shots like this. I threw in, this is my first video on the Awake Souls channel. This was my very first footage when I got a P900 camera, and I can't really remember if I had heard about clouds behind the sun or not, but when I looked at the footage here, I mean, the first thing I saw was clouds behind the sun. And so we're going to be going through footage that we took on a trip that we took. That is going to be this brand new unreleased clouds behind the sun footage. This footage does get better here. That's brand new. All right, so here you got the cloud in front. You can actually see around the edges here how these are hot spotted. These clouds are hot spotted to the sun. Well, that's auto exposure when it makes those adjustments like that. But when it does the auto exposure, I appreciate it because it helps keep it from not being overexposed. Everybody says the sun's so bright. Well, yeah, when you try to look at it with your eyes, it's going to burn if it's high in the sky. Mm-hmm. But the camera is actually able to compensate for the brightness of the sun quite well. And then you have the situations where you're filming and you have, as clouds are in front of the sun, and it brings the exposure, the brightness down, that's when you get some of your clearest footage. This is the P900, so you don't need to have the ultimate maximum zoom in order to get this kind of footage. This was 1080, and it's still sufficient. You can totally get by and see what's going on even with 1080. So we had that footage. And here's a guy that I'm subscribed to on YouTube that is completely unrelated to flat Earth or whether or not Earth's a virtual reality or not. He's just a guy that films by the Strait of Gibraltar, and he just puts out this great footage. And like, pay attention to the rays of the sun here. Let's turn off the volume and double speed this, or triple speed it. Watch the rays. So all the rays are pointing to the sun. You get this constant motion. You can see the rays pointing to it. And here, you've clearly got the sun traveling over a layer of clouds back here. Yet behind this cloud right here, it's right there. Literally. So when we're getting the eclipses, right, it's in the same distance. It's not 232,000 miles away, not 93 million miles away. You actually see just how close it is to setting right into this mountain. We've got another example tonight where you can see where the sun is coming out of the ground at a peak of a hill. And we do have, runs in, as it gets close here, clouds show up. Watch this section.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so
some in front, some behind.
Some in front, some
Watch
behind.
as it comes back here. Look at that. Wow.
It comes back together.
Clearly there was clouds that sliced. Some went behind the sun and some went in front of.
Yeah, you can actually see that the sun is a sphere. You can see the three-dimensional path of the clouds and stuff around it. And then this will come down, and you'll see that it's really close to setting like into that mountain edge right there. If I can zoom in here. You can see that like this thing right here, it's shadowed towards us. This thing is lit towards us. The sun went down right into that edge of that hill right there. And here, let's check out this. What do you see here?
Yeah, it's an eclipse rising above the horizon. I've seen this picture a lot on the internet. It's clearly interacting with the ground here. It's incredible. So the distance behind the observer is what's causing it to look like this. Now, the person that's on the horizon would see the sun and the eclipse fixed in front of that view. But we have the amazing vantage of being behind that observer at just the right distance where it's pulling the sun and the eclipse coming right up out of the ground.
Yeah, so you have this bush right here that the dark side's towards us. Then you have these bushes over here where the bright side is towards us. That's the way the lighting is right here. Look at how close that lighting is on his shadow, his silhouette. What an amazingly aligned shot. Bravo, that's a good one. What do you say we take a song break and then we come back and get into we got our footage and a whole bunch more.
Sure.
We are back.
Here we are.
It's a simple picture, right?
Well,
What does this picture prove?
The sun is in those clouds right there.
Sun is in those clouds, absolutely. And look at these rays. Where do these rays point? Here, here. The other thing this shows is, look at what a mirror glass is. It's just a reflection like a mirror because it's flat. Absolutely. What do you say about a picture like this? What can we gather?
Again, we've got clouds in front of and behind the sun.
Yeah, and people say, "Oh, it's the brightness. It's being obscured because of the brightness." Well, you can see, yeah, the brightness is having an effect on this cable right here, but you can still see it. How about an image like this?
So you
We
clearly,
Yeah, we don't necessarily have clouds behind the sun here, but
the shadow on the top of the cloud.
yeah. So this is something that even when you're not seeing clouds behind the sun, you can see this just about every day. At least if there's clouds around, right? If the sun gets close to the clouds, it casts shadows where all the rays point directly to the sun. Right there. Right there. You can see it even when you don't see the sun. Right? Look at all the things that you can extrapolate from an image like this. As far as the lighting is concerned, you can see the rays are pointing this way, this way. You can see the hot spot right here. How is it, everybody, if the sun's 93 million miles away out here, that not all of this is just blasted with rays? All right, how come it's not just all blasted in all directions? Sunlight's contained just to this one little spot over here, and if you were to turn around and look behind you, the sky's already turning dark at a time like this, right? So, crepuscular rays. This shows how local the sun is, and how many times have we been driving to work or coming home from work where you just get these amazing ones like this, and then you can see the beams out in the fields or lighting up hills in the surrounding. Everything's pointing to the sun right there, and if you're filming it, it's going to pop out of this. It'll come out of this. What's going on? More examples of this. So this is why we're saying that, like, it's in front of you each and every day, people. All you have to do is pay attention to what you're seeing in the sky, and the answers are there. Answers are there for you.
Absolutely.
Flat water. All the rays pointing to a local sun right here. How come there's not tides on all these lakes if heliocentrism is true, right?
It's a great point.
So what do we got here? We got
The moon.
the moon. Anything you want to say about the moon? You filmed clouds behind the moon, right?
Yeah, so the moon's closer. So you actually have a higher chance of actually seeing and witnessing clouds behind it. And you can see it higher in the sky. So the sun, you only have, when it circles around you, right? The distance to you, the distance to the clouds, you only get so much, like 10% of the sky is sun behind the clouds ability. And you get an extra 5% of that for the moon.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be 232,000 miles away. And this is the only part of the sky right here that's being illuminated. If you were to turn and look around in other directions, it's all going to be blackout, right? Simple picture here. What does it tell you?
This is anti-crepuscular rays. This is the sun setting and casting light and shadows upwards into the sky.
That's it. That's all you need to see. To see that it's locally right there behind those hills. Of course, if you went behind the hills, it would be behind different hills, right? It's like trying to catch a rainbow. I think this one is beautiful and so attainable, so seeable on a regular basis. You just go walk around outside where there's a bunch of trees. The way the light comes through the trees, all the rays point to where the sun is. Try it. Go out, walk around. If you're out here by the fence line, you'll see that all the shadows of these fence posts are pointing towards that sun right there. It all triangulates in your circle of sight. You can even see the sky itself. The glow is local around the sun. This is the video that we've been watching in the
Incredible.
in the breaks. So we'll get a chance to see that again on our concluding song, which is another one that's made for this specific podcast. Here's somebody else's footage. So we like to shoot our own footage, and we also like to promote other people's footage and tell everybody, go get your own footage as well. Once you start doing the process, once you hold the camera and actually have to move and follow the sun, it puts you into the situation where now all of a sudden you're really aware of, okay, you can look around and see, okay, this is where all the light's coming from. This is where all the shadows are pointing to. The crepuscular rays, they're all pointing to it. But here's a great example where we're not only going to have some great clouds behind the sun. This is a lot like my very first footage. But we get to see the lift off, or where it's setting into the water. So that's, we talk about on land already, what it looks like when it's coming out of the ground. This is going to be an example of what it looks like as it's setting into the water. And so I'm just going to scroll through this till we get to, all right, so now you can start to see that there's this hot spot in the water directly right below it. You see this starting to build, and so we get in here, it starts interacting with each other. And you watch this. See that it looks like energy pouring between the two. Back it up. Zoom it in. It's like energy pouring between the two. Then it begins to merge and spread out. And this section of the footage here, so we have this is obviously in front of it. We have the sun in this pocket. So our hypothesis is if there's clouds behind it, when this goes down, we'll see if there's clouds behind here. Let's take a look. You can see at this top edge here, we're going to have clouds are being revealed behind. Look at where the grouping of the light is all the way around here. It's right around this area, right where the sun is. And we continue to have more and more clouds being revealed. We'll see them appearing right there. Gonna go back in for more of the gravy. You can see this whole edge right here being revealed. See all that? This whole area was the sun, but look what's back behind there, everybody. The whole back area is filled in with clouds. It just keeps dissolving down, dissolving down. And this isn't like a great example of what a green flash is, but hopefully most people have seen the green flash by now. This one's merging with the clouds that are at the horizon right there, revealing that this was all cloud layer back behind it.
Yeah.
That whole area. That guy got it. Love that footage.
So another thing to point out is that when something's real, there's an abundance of evidence, and it doesn't just come from, Jason or I or other people in our chat or in our group. It comes from everywhere, from people that have no idea even what they're filming. They're just observing what is. And that's the case with most of the things that we see that have led us to believe that we're in a supernatural biblical virtual reality.
This fire disappears above the horizon. We've got another great example of that. So this was in Zor's group, and it sure fits the theme of tonight's podcast. The eyes are useless if the mind is blind. The sun is local. What do you say, everybody? We get our t-shirts and wear these out, huh?
Be a nice t-shirt, yeah.
Absolutely. Chicago skyline, of course, flat, absolutely flat, but you can see the shadows pointing to the sun right back here. You can see that these clouds in the background are illuminated on the front side, meaning that the sun is in front of them, yet behind this cloud right here. It's absolutely incredible. So now let's go ahead and jump into videos that we took. All right. This one right here, it's the longest of them, and I think it's the best of them. Let's just go ahead and play this video and talk about what it was like filming this and all the things that you get out of this type of footage. So we are gonna, once it gets into it, it's gonna be a long run of just cloud. It's behind the sun. It's just gonna be cutting through this layer. Maybe it's a little more authoritative when you do it yourself and you know what it's like to actually keep the sun in frame. And
you're an eyewitness, right?
You're an eyewitness to it. You get to see the whole surroundings of the whole shot. Right now it looks like, oh yeah, it's real bright around here, but you can look around the rest of the sky and see, well, it's only in this one local area that it's like this. So we start to see the sun go over some background clouds. It's always a mystery. Oh, you're like, oh, okay, this area's popping up in front.
What part's going to go behind? What's going to slice?
Yeah.
But it's clearly, the same wispiness, the same consistency, but you can see that our distance to the center of the sun, then you can then calculate the distance to these clouds. So you get the ones in the background, the ones in the foreground, the ones that are being sliced. As you can see the sun going right through them, right here.
Comes around and just reconnects right there. You got a new cut here. This is where you start looking at the layers. You can apply filters to it, like we showed earlier, the emboss filter, the edges filter, and you'll be able to see that this disk of the sun, it's not just wispy clouds looking through. And we do use a solar filter, an ND, what is it? It's a variable one, so you can adjust it, and you don't need much. the exposure with the camera and just a little bit of solar filter, and you can get this nice clean contrast without overexposure. So it's not overexposed. That's the reason why you can see this tiny little wisp of a cloud right there. So now it's just going to run this edge.
Because if it was overexposure, then they would all be going behind it, right? That's the debunk here. You can't explain it away. Nobody can unless they lie to you.
And it's all the surrounding lighting. And if you had a second camera on this, and you could take all the crepuscular rays and all the shadows and draw lines, and it all points to this right here in the clouds in your circle of sight. The proof that you're in a virtual reality is literally all around you in the sky each and every day. You just have to have the eyes to be able to see it. And so that's an interesting thing, that not everybody, when they look at this footage, can see that. Like, somehow they look at it and they just get confused. They can't believe what they're seeing, maybe, and they just give up. But if you actually sit down, study it, and then go test it for yourself, right? There's not a single person that has gone in the pursuit of filming clouds behind the sun that has been stumped. Everybody gets it.
Yeah, it's been 100%. Every person that we've said, go and repeat this observation for yourself, not one of them has come back and said, no, I didn't see it, right? They've all actually filmed it and shared it with us.
So it's getting swallowed up in this cloud. But we will... I think this just keeps going. It's going to come out of this mess. But you can see that it's just in this nest right around it. That's where all the hotspot is. And so it's not a gaseous fusion, hydrogen fusion ball of gas type thing. Everybody says it would burn up the clouds. Well, obviously it's not burning up the clouds. It's right in the clouds. We saw it coming out of the ocean, setting into the ocean, out of the land, setting into the land. It is a luminary that rotates around the observer. It's a sky feature. So it lights up the day. The moon's used to light up the night. It's just the way the creator designed the sky to be for us.
Yeah, Enoch, goes into detail as well, how the sky system was created spherically and the earth system was created flat and, horizontal, parallel to the circling luminaries.
There's another quicker video. This one's, see it clearly descending through the layer right here. Coming out the bottom. There's a layer of clouds that you can see. It's obscuring. Best part of that footage was the beginning part. But the more you watch of this footage, the more you absorb the lighting and seeing it's right there in those clouds. Then all of a sudden your eyes are opened, and you won't be able to unsee it again. Every time you see a crepuscular ray, okay, the sun's right there in those clouds. It's not something to be scared of. It's how we have light. It's how we have light and heat. So I mean, it's just sort of a common sense thing. When the sun's above the horizon and its rays are hitting your body, you feel those rays as heat. So does everything else. Right? That's how things are heated, is by the light of the sun. And that's the reason why you can stand underneath a tree or step underneath a canopy and all of a sudden feel just immediate massive difference by just getting out of the rays of the sun. The temperature might be 95 degrees outside, 100 degrees outside. You walk underneath a shade and you're so relieved because it's the rays of the sun that are causing the heating effect. Got a few more for y'all tonight. Oh, what happened?
That one glitched out. And again, I just hope that people watch this and then they go out and actually do the observations themselves. Go and look and see for yourself. That's really what I want people to do.
There, I do get the focus better.
It's an incredible place that we live in. It's waiting for you to observe it and to witness what you actually see and behold. And it's like waking up from the Matrix, right? You actually become, more connected to creation when you start to see these things. That it changed my life completely for the good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know that if you're in a virtual reality, you got a creator, and that there's going to be rules, and it's important to know all those things so that you don't get yourself in trouble, right?
Well, and he created it, and he created it for us, and he wants us to investigate it. The scriptures say that it's a king that searches things out, right? A king of kings. If you investigate your surroundings, so look at what you see here. Some clouds are in front, most are behind, and this is the bright luminary of the sun. It's just a wonderful observation. And again, you can search sunrises and sunsets without anything to do with Jason or I, or anything to do with any of these communities that believe in virtual reality or flat earth. And you'll find video after video. You'll see it in movies and TV shows, and anywhere there's anyone filming, that you can just observe it. And you don't even need a camera. Cell phone cameras are becoming better and better. You can zoom in on these things with your cell phone, but you're just naked eye observations.
I mean, look at just how locally illuminated this area is. Talking just a distance of, maybe these clouds are 10 miles from us when we're filming stuff like this. Sometimes there's ones in front, sometimes there's ones in behind. We got 2 more videos to go through.
And again, there's thousands, and we've got multiple videos. If anybody's interested in continuing to look through Jason's channel, you're going to see so much more. And on the Limitless channel too, my Clouds Behind the Sun and Moon video from 2014, 2015, I think it is. Still up.
Yeah, just little parts in front, most of them behind.
And the brightness of the local light in the sky. And again, what's supernatural and amazing about this is somebody else can see the sun setting. Somebody else sees the sun rising, right? It's all the same sun. There's only one luminary that does the path throughout the ecliptic, the race that the creator put it in. But where you are, you see what you see. Someone's up in the sky, and the sun's not going to be in the clouds for them. It's going to move. It stays at a fixed distance from all observers. And it's incredible how it was created. We're in like a shared virtual reality that interacts individually for each one of us.
So as it dives in here, so when it goes into a cloud like this and it gets like snuffed out by the cloud, then you back up and you can see, okay, the sun is in that cloud right there. lighting on the clouds behind it. They're all lighting's coming from over here. You know, the sun was in the middle of the cloud and it concealed it. Look at the hot glow shows up on the clouds just surrounding it. It wouldn't be like that if it was 93 million miles away.
No way.
This one's pretty trippy because you have clouds like in two different directions here.
That's quite a fascinating thing to observe too when you're just relaxed and looking up into the sky and you see the different layers of clouds moving in different directions. It's like, whoa, it's pretty incredible. Lots of scriptures about the sun and the clouds.
So we got the two different layers and they're going to come together here. Sun's going to interact with this new layer. I mean, like it begins to highlight the edge of the sun, make it crisp for us. You see that? Whew.
Pretty obvious what's happening there. And the slicer a little bit goes in front. Then because the sun's just widest at that point, it goes away and then comes back.
No, remember it dove in the other cloud? Now it's dove into this cloud right here. Locally illuminated right there, stuff way farther away.
Yeah.
Not lit up. I guess that's the end of that video. So this is going to be the last video I have for us tonight.
Yeah, but again, there's so much more on your channel for people to look through. Virtual reality, you just type that in, you'll find tons of footage.
It's pretty simple, but this is just an example of the sun setting down into the water.
Look how flat it looks too. And you know, it's funny, if you search hard enough, you'll see me cortisol spiking out on people because some of this stuff is just so mind-boggling. It's so amazing to me, and sometimes it just shatters my cortisol, spikes it, because I really wish that more people would be interested in looking at, you know, the reality that we're in. I know YD is quite the observer of the skies, the moon and the sun and the positions, and I know Bronick and you know, a bunch of people that have been a part of Team Yahweh have been photographers and researchers and people that are just interested in what's going on.
Yeah, so this is pretty basic here, but it's such a absolute debunk of the fake flat Earth. So there's the whole group of people that say Earth's flat, but it's a pressurized pizza dome, and the sun's doing horizontal circles up 3,000 miles, and it's coming towards you and going away from you.
That's what they say.
And if you actually go out and film the sun going down, especially with a tripod, you're going to have your hand on the thing and you're going to be bringing it down, down, down until it disappears. And it goes down full size like this. It doesn't shrink. So here you get that energetic merger where, you know, this isn't the ultimate in clear footage. Other footage, you get to see that energy exchange. It's just going to come down and morph. And one of the things that you'll notice is that it doesn't do it as a perfect circle either. So as it goes down, it has those ripples that'll wrap around, and it's actually like, what's the term? And it's like the scan lines in a game. Remember the
refresh lines?
Yeah, the they would scroll and with the TV image, you see those waves will come along the edge, and then it rips off, and it's like this energy discharge. So what do the heliocentrists even say about real footage of a sunrise or a sunset where there's these ripples and
They say atmosphere and water and all this other nonsense. Fraction.
you can see all those ripples.
There it
And
goes. Set right into the ground.
actually just above it, because it disappears
There it
like
goes.
that.
Now, if you had a drone and you raised an elevation, you'd be able to bring a little bit of it back, depending on the drone's circle of sight.
Absolutely. So is there anything that you want to review, talk about, go through?
Well, just we can go back to the eclipse video. That's the main thing. Just to quickly finish with this. This is the most important part of tonight's podcast. I'd like people to understand that, the sun and the moon are supernatural luminaries. They're not physical rock or burning plasma lights. They're lights. They were created by the creator. And when we, actually observe this, we can actually see that it's a fingerprint of creation. And it was left here for us to discover as a group and to be awakened by it, our souls. And I just want you at home to go out and observe these things. Chase the sun, chase the moon, observe the sky, look at the stars, look at the pictures, look at the beautiful celestial objects, the alignments, all these things, the blood moons. Be inspired by it.
Yeah, test it. Know what you're looking for. Just when something's in front of the sun, be it a tree or a hill or a cloud or something, pay attention to the light rays coming from it. Pay attention to all the shadows around you. You'll see that in your peripheral vision, shadows, everything is pointed to the sun. In heliocentrism, they need parallel sun rays. They can't have it pointing to something right in your local circle of sight right here.
Yeah, all of their observations fall apart.
Film it, add filters to it to help highlight it. Each one of these serves another purpose, another way to just make it clear and obvious to yourself, and then you can make it clear and obvious to others. But just looking at the sky, you can actually tell that Earth is a virtual reality. It's not that hard.
No, it's obvious. Supernatural biblical virtual reality is BVR. And it's there for all of us. So make sure you're, like YD says, remember to watch the moon too. The moon is just, in all its glory, also shows so many wonderful things. And we were told to watch for signs in the heavens, the luminaries. These things were to be markers. And right from Genesis, we were told to observe them. So observe them. And, make sure you're tuned in. There'll be a live stream on Rumble. I'll do After the Noise this Sunday. We'll go into some of the things that are happening with the war and what I'd like to warn people, try to keep them ahead of some of the things that are taking place. And we'll just take a look at some of the mainstream topics that are being talked about. Should be a fun night with a bunch of great brand new music. Shout out to the Goldsmith. Shout out to everybody in the chat, especially YD's, Worst, Jerry Hawaha's son, Tristan Bronick. We had a great turnout tonight. Everybody that showed up. Josh Hughes. We had Ryan. Everybody showed up today. It was nice to see Tilly, Adam were in the beginning. Jay Skills even made an appearance tonight. Obviously, always Bronick. And yeah, I'll be doing an update on the gardens and everything that we're doing here, preparing for, just putting in the work, just to have your own fresh food if you can do it. So make sure you stay tuned. I'll put a marker, I'll put a pointer up on Awake Souls and on my channel to the link for the podcast. It'll be Sunday evening.
Well, that is absolutely great. I had a great time tonight. I hope everybody enjoys this footage and go test it for yourself. This last song here is actually on topic, and hopefully you got something out of the podcast tonight. And this song kicks you in the butt, and everybody out there that doesn't see the clouds behind the sun, everybody wakes up. Where's the only place people are going to get this content, brother?
Only on the How Is Your Eye News Networks on Wake Souls.
Yeah. You already saw it. Now what you gonna do? Yeah.
You already saw it. Now what you gonna do? You saw the rays break through the clouds just right. Same point of origin in your line of sight. You saw the sun drop low, no curve involved, but you let the story override what you saw. You caught the green flash right at the edge, like a system glitch at the water's ledge. You saw light paint clouds from a local place, but they told you distance, you just gave it faith. Now hold up, pause that script in your mind. You don't need permission to trust your own eyes. Wake up, open your eyes. You've been seeing truth your whole life. Don't believe what you're told no more. Believe what you witnessed for sure. Hey, wake up, don't look away. It's been right there every day. Check it yourself, don't delay. It's time to wake up today. Clouds behind light, yeah, you saw that. Crepuscular rays all pointing back. Transparent moon where it should block, but you kept it quiet, didn't question the plot. Sun in the water, landline phase, straight line motion every day displayed. Local light and shadows reveal everything you need is what you feel. No more repeating what you've been fed. Start connecting what's in your head. Wake up, open your eyes. You've been seeing truth your whole life. Don't believe what you told no more. Believe what you witnessed for sure. Wake up, don't look away. It's been right there every day. Check it yourself, don't delay. It's time to wake up today. No. No gatekeepers, no degrees, no authority over what you see. Just you, the sky, reality. Step outside, look up, breathe. You don't need a model to explain what repeats again and again and again. Oh, wake up, open your eyes. You don't need them